How many of you feel like there just aren't enough hours in the day? That time keeps slipping through your fingers no matter how hard you try to hold on to it. I know I've been there, frantically rushing from one task to the next, never getting to the important things, the meaningful things. Well, I'm here to tell you today that it doesn't have to be that way. You can learn to spend your time wisely. You can take control of your days and fill them with purpose, productivity, and fulfillment. But it won't happen by chance. It takes intention, discipline, and a whole new perspective on time itself. Time is our most precious and limited resource. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. There are only 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week for every single one of us. What distinguishes the high achievers from the rest is how they utilize those hours. They don't have more time, they just use it more effectively. The first step is to recognize the immense value and potential in every moment. Time is like a blank canvas. You get to decide what picture you paint on it. Will it be a masterpiece of accomplishment and growth? Or a muddled mess of wasted opportunities? The choice is entirely yours. But to create something extraordinary, you must first see each day, each hour as a gift and an opportunity. Too often, we sleepwalk through life, letting our days blur together in an unmemorable haze. We operate on autopilot, doing things the way we've always done them, without much thought or intention. But an unexamined life, as they say, is not worth living. To spend your time wisely, you must wake up not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. Engage with your life. Be present and mindful in each activity, interaction, and environment. This starts with your mornings. How you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Do you jolt awake to a blaring alarm and immediately start scrolling through emails and social media? Do you rush out the door with a coffee in one hand and your phone in the other, already feeling behind? If so, it's no wonder you struggle to manage your time effectively. You've put yourself in reactive mode from the second you open your eyes. Wise time managers, in contrast, take charge of their mornings. They recognize the early hours as a rare time of solitude and possibility before the demands of the day take hold. They use this time with great care and intention. Maybe they meditate, journal, exercise, read something inspiring, or plan out their day. The exact activity matters less than the meaning behind it. They're setting their own agenda before the world barges in with its own. This principle applies throughout the day as well. How often do you find yourself bouncing between emails, meetings, phone calls, and minor tasks at the mercy of others' needs and instructions, letting your time be hijacked by whoever screams the loudest or emails the most? To spend your time wisely, you must be proactive rather than reactive. You must have clarity on your key priorities and values and use those as your North Star for decision making. One powerful way to do this is by creating a daily schedule, not a minute by minute itinerary, but a thoughtful plan for your day. Identify your big rocks, your most important tasks and commitments. Block off time for them first. These are often the things that are important, but not urgent strategic planning, learning, relationship building, health, and self-care, the activities that don't put out immediate fires but light our way in the long term. Then allow the small pebbles, the emails, errands, and busy work to fill in the gaps. If a new request or opportunity arises, consult your big rocks first. Does it align with and support your key priorities? Or is it just a shiny distraction? Learn to say no to the mediocre in order to say yes to the excellent. Treat your time and attention as the valuable commodities they are. This extends to the company you keep and the information you consume as well. Who and what you surround yourself with shapes your mindset, habits, and opportunities immensely. Are your friends and colleagues lifting you up or weighing you down? Are your conversations filled with gossip and complaints or ideas and encouragement? Are you feeding your mind nutritious content or empty junk food? The people you associate with and the media you engage with are either fueling your growth or holding you back. Be mindful of them. But perhaps the most powerful way you spend your time is through learning and personal development. In this era of rapid change and infinite information, continuous growth is no longer optional, it's essential. The most successful people in the world are lifelong learners. They're always seeking out new knowledge, skills, and perspectives. They understand that their education doesn't end with a diploma, it's a never-ending journey. And there has never been a better time in history to learn. The internet has democratized education and made it accessible to all. From online courses to instructional videos to digital books, the wisdom of experts is at your fingertips 24/7. You can learn virtually anything you want, often for free. The only limit is your own initiative and discipline. Let your curiosity be your guide. What fascinates you? What skills would help you advance in your career or start a business? What knowledge gaps are holding you back? Identify them and make a plan to fill them bit by bit. Commit to reading one nonfiction book a month. Take one online course at a time. Attend one conference or seminar a year. Small, consistent investments in yourself will compound into incredible results. But don't just be a passive consumer of information, engage with it. Take notes. Ask questions, discuss it with others, look for ways to apply your learnings in the real world. Knowledge without action is just mental clutter. The magic happens when you translate concepts into experiments and experience. That's when true growth and transformation occur. How you spend your time is how you spend your life. And at the end of your life, you won't be wishing you'd answered more emails or watched more Netflix. You'll be reflecting on the experiences you had, the relationships you built, and the impact you made. You'll be thinking about whether you spent your one precious life in a meaningful way aligned with your values and purpose. That work begins today in the hundreds of moments and choices that make up your day. Choose to be intentional with your time instead of recklessly squandering it. Choose to focus on what matters most in the long term, not just what's screaming for your attention in the short term. Choose to invest in your own growth and development so you can expand your potential and contribution. How different would your days, weeks, and years look if you consistently applied these principles? If you woke up an hour earlier to work on a passion project, if you blocked off time for the big rocks before doing anything else? If you said no to unfulfilling invitations and unproductive meetings, if you spent your evenings learning instead of scrolling, the cumulative effect would be truly transformational. But I won't sugarcoat it, developing these habits isn't easy. It requires going against the grain of our fast paced, instant gratification, always on culture. It means doing what's important instead of just what's comfortable or convenient. It demands sacrificing some of the trivial and superficial things that occupy so much of our time and attention. It's an uphill climb, but few things worth having come easily. A fulfilled, successful, and meaningful life, aligned with your highest values and potential, requires intention and effort. You must be willing to make hard choices and change some of your default behaviors. You must have the courage to march to the beat of your own drum instead of mindlessly marching with the crowd. You have to be willing to be different in order to make a difference. So, my challenge to you today is this: evaluate how you're currently spending your days. Track your time for a week and notice your patterns. How much of your day is spent on the trivial versus the meaningful? How much of it is directed by you versus by others? How much of it aligns with your core values and long term goals? Don't beat yourself up. This is simply an exercise in self awareness. Then begin making intentional tweaks and upgrades. Start with just one thing, maybe it's a morning routine or a time block for focused work or learning. Commit to that one change for a month and notice the ripple effect. Then add on another positive habit and another. Like compound interest, small daily improvements will grow into remarkable results over time. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. And when things get tough and motivation wanes, remember your why. Why does how you spend your time matter so much? What's at stake? What kind of life are you trying to build? What kind of person are you striving to become? Keep that vision front and center. Write it down. Make it visceral and vivid in your imagination. Let it pull you forward when all you want to do is fall back into old ways. Learning to spend your time wisely isn't a one-time event, it's a lifelong practice. There is no finish line to cross, only new starting lines to begin again from. You will stumble and get off track. You will face new challenges and temptations. But each day is a fresh opportunity to recommit to your highest priorities and potential. Each moment is a chance to choose meaning over mediocrity. And gradually, day by day, choice by choice, you will reshape the landscape of your life. You will move from a life of subconscious drift to a life of purposeful direction. You will build a legacy you're proud of and a story worth telling. You will have spent your one precious life in the wisest way you know how. And in the end, that's the only definition of success that truly matters. So starting today, decide to be the curator of your time instead of a careless consumer of it. Wake up to the wealth of potential in each day. Invest in what appreciates and value your growth, relationships, and contribution. Spend your life on what really matters so that one day you can look back with satisfaction and forward with anticipation. You have 24 brand new hours today and every day after. How you spend them is completely up to you. Choose wisely, my friends, and make them count. Of course, let's continue this exploration of wise time management and purposeful living. The journey doesn't end with a single speech or realization, it's an ongoing process of growth, application, and recommitment. As you begin implementing these principles in your own life, you'll undoubtedly face resistance. Old habits die hard, and our environment is often set up to encourage distraction and busyness rather than focus and meaning. You might find yourself slipping back into reactive mode, saying yes when you want to say no, or neglecting your big rocks in favor of small pebbles. When this happens, don't get discouraged. Change is rarely linear, it's often 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The key is to keep taking those forward steps, no matter how small. Celebrate your progress instead of beating yourself up over your setbacks. Learn from your missteps and adjust your approach. This is a practice, not a perfect performance. One helpful tool is accountability. Share your intentions and commitments with someone you trust, a friend, family member, mentor, or coach. Ask them to check in on your progress regularly and offer support and encouragement. We often show up differently when we know someone else is counting on us. We're more likely to follow through when we've made a public promise. Another key is to make your new habits as easy and attractive as possible. Want to read more? Keep a book on your nightstand or in your bag at all times. Want to exercise in the morning? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Want to spend more time on strategic work? Schedule it in your calendar like any other non negotiable appointment. Reduce the friction and increase the incentives for your desired behaviors. But perhaps the most important thing is to keep connecting to your why. When you're crystal clear on your purpose and priorities, decision making becomes much easier. You're less likely to get sidetracked by shiny objects or people pleasing. You can confidently say no to the things that don't align because you've given a wholehearted yes to what does. So keep revisiting your vision and values. Surround yourself with reminders of what matters most. Create a mood board, write a personal mission statement, develop a set of guiding principles. Anchor yourself in something bigger than the day-to-day grind. Let your long-term view inform your short-term choices. And remember, spending your time wisely isn't just about productivity and accomplishment. It's not about packing your days so full that there's no room to breathe. In fact, some of the wisest ways to spend your time involve slowing down, not speeding up, pausing to reflect, to connect, to savor, to just be. In our achievement-obsessed culture, we often equate worth with output. We feel guilty for taking breaks or engaging in activities that don't produce a tangible result. But this is a recipe for burnout and dissatisfaction. We are human beings, not human doings. We need rest, play, and rejuvenation to function at our best. So give yourself permission to prioritize leisure and self-care. Block off time for hobbies, nature, laughter, creativity. Invest in experiences that bring you joy and fulfillment, even if they don't directly contribute to your goals. These aren't indulgences, they're essential nutrients for a well-rounded life. The same goes for relationships. No amount of professional success can compensate for a lack of meaningful connection. At the end of our lives, it's the people we loved and who loved us that will matter most. It's the memories we made, the conversations we had, the support we gave and received. So don't let your most precious relationships fall victim to the tyranny of the urgent. Make time for the people who matter most. Put down your phone and give them your full attention. Express your appreciation and affection. Forgive quickly and love deeply. These are the true riches in life. As you continue on this path of intentional living, you'll start to notice a shift. Life will feel less like a frantic race and more like a purposeful journey. You'll have more energy and clarity because you're investing in what replenishes you rather than depletes you. You'll experience more moments of flow and fulfillment because you're aligned with your true north. But the greatest reward will be the impact you make. When you spend your time on what matters most, you become a force for good in the world. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, your creativity, or your contribution, you leave a positive mark. You make a difference in ways both big and small. And that ultimately is what gives our time meaning and significance. It's not about how much we cram into our days, but how much value and love we put out into the world. It's about using our precious hours in service of something greater than ourselves. So as you continue on this lifelong journey of wise time management, keep your eyes on that bigger picture. Keep asking yourself not just how to do things right, but how to do the right things. Keep aligning your days with your deepest values and grandest vision. The path won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. For at the end of your days, you'll look back not with regret over what you missed, but with gratitude for what you prioritized. You'll know that you spent your one wild and precious life in the pursuit of what mattered most. And that, my friends, is the greatest success of all. Thank you for walking this path with me today. Remember, you have the power to shape your time in your life. Use it wisely, use it kindly, use it boldly. The world is waiting for the unique gift that only you can give. Make every moment count.